Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name is Ebru, I'm a founder of Ebru Yoga Pilates Activewear Studio. I'm going to share 5 tips about how to do downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasa, to avoid back pain. So one of the fundamental pose in yoga sequence, and you might hear in some of the yoga classes that now resting in downward facing dog. It might be not resting pose for some of you. Maybe it's going to be challenging for you because of the tight hamstrings and maybe tightness on the lower back or a little bit maybe pain on the lower back. Yeah, so we will have a look together how we can make downward facing dog as a resting pose. Okay, so if you are ready, let's get started. So I'm going to give 5 tips today about how to do downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasa, without feeling pain on your lower back. We upload videos every week about yoga classes, Pilates exercises and healthy tips for healthy living. If you are new here, please consider subscribe down below to the red button. I think somewhere around, yeah. And leave comment as they are important for us to create much better and useful content for improving healthy living. Okay, now let's get back to our practice. So it's better to know what is the benefit of downward facing dog before giving the tips. Okay, so downward facing dog, stretch the shoulders, arms and the calves, Achilles tendon and hands. Okay, and strengthening the arms and the legs, and calms the brain and relieves stress and mild depression, energize the body and so on. Lots of benefits we can tell to you from downward facing dog. So also make this pose is weight bearing pose. Make sure that you are bearing the weight under your hands and your feet evenly. Okay, right, 5 tips we are talking about, and the first tip is watch out your hands. Okay, this is, as I mentioned, this pose is about weight bearing. So hands and feet are your foundation in this pose, right? So you are bearing the weight evenly under your hands and the feet. Make sure that this weight is not going forward towards the hands or going back only to your feet. Basically, you are pushing the ground in downward facing dog and the weight will go back to your feet. So it will give nice foundation to your pose. Keep in mind, okay? The stance between your hands and the feet can be a little bit longer if you have tightness on the lower back or on the thighs. This is another thing that you need to consider about doing while you are doing downward facing dog. And let's have a look our hands first. Okay, we are spreading the hands on the floor like this. So feeling all the fingers on the floor, from your little finger to your thumb, and especially emphasize those index and thumb fingers grip to the mat strongly. Okay, we are just feeling all the finger pads on the mat when we are bearing the weight, and make sure that your wrist crest is aligned with to the top of the mat. Okay, so this is kind of like our foundation again, feeling the edge of the hands even on the floor. Okay, and tip 2, organize your arm, neck and shoulders. Rotate the forearms internally and rotate your upper arms externally, and lock your shoulder blades a bit towards the ribs, and it will help you to just send the top of the shoulders down below towards your ribs, and it will create nice feeling around the neck rather than tension. Here, open the palm up and hold the bicep, okay, and rotate your palm facing down. What's happening? So your forearm is rotating internally, and your upper arm already externally rotated here because your bicep is going up, right? And you can practice this palm facing up and palm facing down. You will notice that you can move your forearm freely. How tricky is that, isn't it? Yeah, it's so cool actually to see it and know the anatomy when you are doing and going to the poses, right? This is the thing. Rotating your forearm internally and upper arm externally, locking the shoulder blades back and your arm straight here. But avoid from the overextension on the elbow, okay? Make sure that you are firmly and evenly just pressing the arms down. Another thing is when you're firmly pressing the hands down and extending the arms, you will feel and create space in the sideline of your shoulder blades, okay? And then it will help us to draw the shoulder blades, tip of the shoulder blades towards our ribs in downward facing dog. After organizing your arms, just watch out neck and head, right? And head has to continue with the spine, has to be aligned with the spine. So you shouldn't create any arch on the neck, deep arch or any flexion, okay? And allowing your neck to relax. And when you send the shoulder blades back towards the ribs, you will allow your neck to a little bit relax here, right? And downward facing dog. And aligning your head with the spine. You can gaze at your feet, your knees, sometimes navel. And it doesn't mean that you need to bring the chin towards the chest, right? Otherwise you can put pressure or tension around the neck. So relaxing the neck and feeling your head align with the spine here, right? And you can give in a little bit more length to the neck as you are sending the top of the head out and sit bones going back. And you can feel the length on the neck as you are sending top of the head out and away from your tailbone. Okay? Then coming back down. Okay, and tip 3, give a nice length to your spine. And imagine that in downward facing dog, sending top of the head out, away from your tailbone, and you're giving nice length to the spine. I'm sending my sit bones up, if you notice that. Otherwise we see this a lot, you know, just sending the lower back up. So you need to send the sit bones up to give a nice length to your spine. And if you like, you can just a little bit engage the core, like 40% of your full capacity. And it will help to give a length and support to your spine as well. And feeling the front of the ribs opening. And lower rib reaching towards your navel in this pose. And it will give nice length to the spine. And you will avoid any pain on the lower back when you manage to give a nice length to your spine. Right, tip 4, organize your pelvis and legs. As I mentioned before, we are sending the sit bones up towards the ceiling to give a nice length to the spine. This is important for the weight bearing, so you need to send the sit bones up and distributing the weight under the hands and also the feet, right? So if you have tightness on the hamstrings or back pain, please bend the knees and send the sit bones a little bit more deeper up until feeling the stretch on the hamstrings, okay? The aim is feeling the stretch on the back line of our legs. So you can send the heels down as you're maintaining the length on the lower back, or you can keep the knees bent and send the sit bones up, okay? And make sure that you are bearing the weight under your feet and your hands evenly here. As you are pushing the ground away from your hands, you will give nice energy to your feet to be able to bear the weight evenly, okay? Keep in mind. 5. The most important thing in downward facing dog is breathing. As you know, breathing is important to release the tension and achieve better pose and better quality of life. Okay, breathing is so important. It's good practice even in downward facing dog. So in downward facing dog, you're coming up to downward facing dog with exhalation. Okay, and as you inhale, just feel the breath on the back of the ribs. Okay, it will support your spine, and as you exhale, you will feel your ribs narrowing back again, right? And then inhale, feel the ribs, and exhale, ribs narrowing. And as you inhale, hold the navel with 40% of your full capacity, and it will allow you to a little bit deepening your breath in the pose, and it will give strength to your pose and endurance to your pose. Keep in the mind, please don't hold your breath, just activate your breath in downward facing dog. In some yoga poses, we activate Ujjayi breath, we use Ujjayi breath ocean sound we create. So you can watch the other videos to get an idea about that. And some of the yoga poses kind of vinyasa flow, you might feel like breathing through the nostrils and out through the mouth. It's perfectly okay. It depends on your practice. You can just adjust your breath and allow your breath to facilitate the pose and allow pose to facilitate your breath. I hope we covered everything in this video about downward facing dog and how you can avoid from pain on the lower back especially. Please leave comment as they are important for us to create better and useful content for improving healthy living. Thanks for watching and hope to see you in another video. Thanks.